Hey all, my name is Paul Borowski and I am the owner of Quality Business Plan. And what I've done is I've taken a few minutes and I've compiled some information about my complex business plan. And from that information that I've compiled, I went ahead and made up an example to show everyone what information is going to be included if you choose the complex business plan. And so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and dive into it. I do want to keep the video under 5 minutes, so it's going to go a little bit quick. But it's just going to show, the different segments of it. So the first part of it, sorry about that, the first part is going to be introducing the company. So it's going to be your company and then a logo. I do ask you all to supply the logo to me. And then underneath that is going to be the author, which is myself. And that information can be deleted. I can leave my name there or not. It just, like I said, shows the author and also adds a little bit of credibility to the document. Next section is going to be the table of contents. This just tells a reader what are the different sections and where they're located. And this page right here, the table of contents shows that the document's approximately 37 pages, and I do advertise that my complex business plans are between 25 to 35 pages, so this does go a little bit high on the page count. Next section is going to be the confidentiality statement. This just tells the readers, whoever they may be, that if they're reading this document, they can't share the information with anybody else. So it kind of binds them legally, at least hopefully. Next section right here is going to be the owner statement. This is the only section that I ask my clients to write, and this is an optional statement section as well. And so if they want, clients can choose to go ahead and write up just a brief explanation as to why they want to start the business or why they started the business. It just shows some drive, some motivation, and some passion to the document. Something that I can't add as a business plan writer. It's got to come from the client. Next part is going to be the executive summary. With the executive summary, it's absolutely critical that no new information is added in the executive summary that is not covered in the business plan. And so the executive summary first is just a summation of all the information that they're going to find in the business plan. And it should be just one page, and once the reader reads this, they should have a real good idea about what's going on with the business, how it's going to operate, and what are the differentiating factors. And like I said, you don't want to add new information into this section, so what I like to do, and I teach my students this, I am an adjunct professor, and so I do work with college students, and I just tell them, copy and paste different sections from your business plan, and then put it in your executive summary, and if needed, reword it to make it sound right. So that way it ensures that no new information is added to the executive summary that is not further discussed in the business plan. Next section is going to be your company description, and for this, for the complex plan, I like to start with the problem statement. It explains why your company is going to be in existence. Every business that's ever been started, it starts because a customer has a problem. You have to be able to identify what that problem is in order to be able to solve it. And that's why I start the complex business plan with a problem statement, showing here's what the problem is, and then we dive right into it in the company summary as to how the company is going to solve this problem. And the company summary is going to just talk about where the company is located, how it's going to be formed, what it's going to do. And then right underneath is product description, and this goes into further detail on the products and services of the company. And for this, for the complex plan, I do go into business models. How are you going to operate? What are your hours of operation? What's the customer's experience going to be? Just gives the reader a better understanding of what the customer is going to expect and how your business overall is going to make money. Next section is a competitive advantage. What are some differentiating factors? Why is your company better than all the other competitors out there? And then we're going to go into the pricing strategy. Is it premium pricing strategy, low pricing, best value, what have you? After that is going to be the location. Why did you choose this location for your business? And then in this section right here, business objectives. What are some objectives your company wants to reach in 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months? And then we go into future plans. Where's your company going to be? Where does it want to go? How's it going to get there? So what are some future plans of the company? And then we do come up with a mission statement, vision statement, and a value statement. If you don't have this information, I can put something together for you, and it can always be revised a little bit later. Target market, who's going to be your main audience? Sometimes it's a broad target market, sometimes it's a narrow target market like college students. Next section is going to be the market analysis. And for the complex plan, I do go into a little bit, as much depth as possible for the industry, maybe a couple paragraphs. I usually don't go more than a page to 2 pages for the market analysis. And so I'll introduce the industry, and maybe go throw in some revenues, some job growth. I like to touch on trends, threats, and opportunities. Just gives an idea to the reader as to what's really going on in the industry as a whole. And I'd like to wrap up this section with the SWOT analysis. This covers your internal environment, and then this term covers your external environment or your market. And so just again gives the reader a real good idea, or gives yourself a real good idea as a whole, what's going on with your industry as a whole. The next section is going to be competitors, and for the competition, I briefly introduce the competition, what is their website, where they're located, what are their hours of operation. I summarize the competitor, and then I do a brief competitor analysis, and then I summarize again the strengths and weaknesses of that competitor as compared to your company, or as to the market as a whole. And I do that with 2 different competitors. Next section is going to be the organization and management, and up top is going to be a management summary. And for me to write the summary, I do need a resume, and I do ask y'all to supply it to me. And then underneath that, we go into job responsibilities. Who's going to do what, where, when, and how. And if you do supply me with a resume, I will include that in the appendix. From there is going to be the organizational structure, who's going to report to who. The tutors report to the CEO, the CFO reports to the CEO, but the tutors do not report to the CFO. And marketing and sales, and this right here is a template that I do adjust based on industry. And most companies that are started, that are in business, they use 3 different modes of marketing, which is going to be your traditional, your social media, and your website. And so I start with the foundation right here, and then I customize it to meet your company's needs. Strategies, I do also go into strategies, and there are some basic strategies that if you employ them, your chances of success are going to increase. And these are pretty much the same for most companies. Your networking strategy, your competitive strategy, your marketing strategy. And so again, I start with the template and I modify this information to best suit your company's needs. A funding request, this is pretty much straightforward. How much money you're looking for, and where's the money going to be spent. Exit strategy, usually put a little bit more information in here. Again, it depends on the company. But this right here is just saying, you know, after a few years when your company's up and going, how are you going to are you going to get rid of it? What are you going to do? Are you going to give it to a family member? Are you going to sell it on the open market? Are you going to go public? And so, and again, I'll put a little bit more information in here, but this just shows the reader that you've thought about how you're going to get out of your company. No one ever runs a company forever. Eventually, everybody gets out of a company, and just shows a little bit of forethought. And this is my bread and butter. This is what I do. I am a financial projection expert, love my numbers. And anytime I do financials, one of the first things I always do is I lay the foundation with assumptions. Here are some assumptions that I've used in order to make some projections for your company. And once these assumptions are stated, then we can go into your financials. For the financials, I start with this right here, profit and loss. In my financials for the profit and loss is broken up on a monthly basis for 1 year. And so month 1, 2, 3, and this is the quarter summation. And again, year 1, quarter 2, month 4, 5, 6, and then a quarter summation. And again, year 1, quarter 3, month 7, 8, 9, quarter summation. And then again, year 1, quarter 4, month 10, 11, 12, quarter summation. And then what we have here is I dive into year 2 and I play the same game for year 2. Once we're done with that, we get to the income statement. The income statement is going to be for 5 years, and we're going to show some growth in there, cost of goods. And then we have our balance sheet, cash, accounts receivable, accounts payable, notes payable, all this information I do for y'all. And for this section also, to finish it out, I do include a non-disclosure agreement. This is a template. I can put your name in here for all the ABC company, or y'all can do that, completely up to you. And then the final part is going to be the appendix, and that's where your resume is going to go. Any, yeah, pretty much this is where your resume is going to go. Very few charts and graphs in my business plans. I'm more of an academic approach to business plans. And to finish off this conversation, for all my financials that I do here, I do use a proprietary template that I've created. I do not give this to the customers, but I also don't just make up numbers. And the numbers are supplied by the customers, but I do ask you all to give me like the daily sales. What do you expect the daily sales are going to be? What are your startup costs expected to be? What are your monthly fixed costs expected to be? And once you give me all that information, I customize this front page here to your information. And then what happens is all this information on the front page, it rolls over to all my other templates that I've created. The profit and loss for year 1, the profit and loss for year 2, the income statement, and the balance sheet. And so anytime any of these numbers here are changed, all these numbers here change as well. All right, so hopefully this information is going to suit you well and help you to come to the conclusion whether my complex business plan is for y'all or not. And I look forward to talking to you and working with y'all. All right, thank you very much.